This is my wife's electric bike. We both have electric bikes and we both love them. The problem is with this design, your body leans forward and you put a lot of weight on your hands and wrists. And let's face it, as you get older, that's just not comfortable. So my goal is to take this, all the electric stuff off of this and move it over to this, a more cruiser style bicycle that's far more comfortable for people of, let's say, a certain age. Okay, so what we have here on this bike is, there's a guy here in town. We've had these for a few years now. He's a retired guy, and he takes bicycles, and he probably doesn't pay much for them, gets them used, and then he puts a battery pack, the motor, a thumb control here, the throttle here, a monitor here, and the controls for the monitor over here. And he sells them, which we thought was great. We got these, and we priced brand new, and then we priced these. We got these for about a third the price of a brand new one, and we love it. Range on them is great. Anyway, we're gonna take all that stuff off of there and put it on here. Now, before I put it on here, what I wanna do is I wanna take it off here and then put it on the bench in my shop, my massive shop right there, and just take a look at everything, see if I need to upgrade anything or modify it or spruce it up or whatever, and then I'm gonna put it over here. So, do I know how to do this? Nope. Have I ever done it before? Nope. But let's figure this out. And here is the battery. It's pretty heavy. I don't know if I'll open it up and take a look inside or not, but I will give you more details on it once we get it up here. There's the battery. This here is it says right here, it's a brushless DC motor controller. Again, I'll give more details once I get all this up on the bench. Okay, I'm not going to be able to separate this from the rear tire because it's all, looks like spliced and heat shrinked together. The only thing I've disconnected so far is the main battery feed. I was hoping that there would be more connectors that I could just pop undone, but if I don't have to, I'm not going to. So let's continue on up front. There's the monitor and the monitor controller off. Now I got to figure out how to get the accelerator pump off. And I don't know, well, I don't know how to take it off, so I got to figure it out. Okay, this does not have a split or anything in it, so the only way I think it comes off is if I take, oh, that's interesting, is if I take this handle off. So hopefully this will spin the handle off. Yep, good, 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 good. There you go. I'll loosen this up. There does not feel like there's one on the other side. Oh, good job. There we go. Let's see if we got enough room here. Enough cable length. Let's pull it back a little bit. And there we go, it's off. Okay, I did not realize this before, but it appears that the brakes actually have maybe a micro switch or something in them that disconnects the power drive when you hit the brakes. Because it's got this wire here, on one on each side, that goes into this harness here that goes to the DC controller and all of this stuff. So let me get the brakes off and we'll go from there. Pops right off. Well, I think I have everything disconnected. Let's see if I can just feed it all back through. That's interesting. And get all this cabling taken off. I have to figure out something there. That's wrapped around. This, the control head is off. And let's see. I guess I didn't need to disconnect the brakes. Did I need to disconnect the brakes? No. Wait, hold on a second. Yes, I do need to disconnect the brakes. That's interesting. I've got that one. Yep, I do need to disconnect the brakes. I got the brakes taken off. I just thought for a minute I didn't need to. I've got a cable here that's just kind of in the way, and I don't know how to get it off. Let me see what I got going on here. Now I can just pop this guy here out, I think. Slide the adjuster out. There we go. Get the dead bug off it. I'm not a bike expert by any means, so I'm having to figure all this stuff out. I don't want to disconnect this because I think it's like a micro switch in there or something. But this here should just pop right out. Oh, that's out there. And let's take it out. There you go. So that's out. And I got this down here. And I'm just about done with everything. Getting this rear brake off. There we go. The rear brake is off. And I'll gently set it down here. Now what I'm down to is the rear tire. So let me cut some more things off here, and then I'll get you in a better position so you can see me take this rear tire off, okay? Give me a minute. Okay, so I'm pulling the cables out here, and I noticed one going down here, and I wasn't quite sure what it was. Well, this e-bike has pedal assist, okay? And there's a reluctor wheel right here that I got to take off, and there should be a sensor. Yep, down there at the bottom. So I don't know how to take it off, okay? I'll be honest with you. I don't know how to do this stuff. So let me see if I can get the cables disconnected and make the bike fall over. And now I got to figure out how to get this off. I'll start with well, it's literally falling off. Oh, that's off. And I just got to get a socket on there. So I'm hoping I just put a socket on there, pull this here out, and then the reluctor and everything will slide out. So let me get another tool. Okay, we've pulled off the end cap here, which is just a dust cap. This is a 14mm nut. We spun it off, and now what we have to try to do is we have to try to pull this crank off here. I had to go and buy a special tool. I got this from Amazon. It wasn't expensive at all. What it does is this piece here will thread into the crank itself, and then this bolt here will actually, as you spin it down, will right against the axle there pull that off. So let's get it on and let's see if we can get this crank off. And this particular tool actually requires a 16mm, which I thought was odd. A 16mm on the outside and then a 14mm on the inside. I probably could have just used my socket for this, which I think I'll use. Come on. I noticed that the crank is kind of mashed on this guy, so it might take a little more effort to get it off. And there it comes. Once we got it going, it's coming right off. There we go. Alrighty, so we got the crank off there. The next off, this here's your reluctor, and what it does is there's magnets in here, and when it spins around, there's a sensor back here. Let's see if I can get these pieces here off. That when they go past the sensor, tells the controller that you're trying to crank. So what it does then is because it's pedal assist, it tells the controller that, okay, they're pedaling, let's give them some assistance. So there's actually the reluctor wheel, and it's got directional arrows on it, so we're going to have to remember that. We'll get that cleaned up. Okay, back over here next to the DC controller, there's actually a connector that I can unplug. So let me unplug that connector. And there's the little locking tab on it. There's a little locking tab, so we'll unplug that. All right, so the reluctor is unplugged, and we'll bring the wire out. There you go. So now I can spin this guy all the way off and take a look at it. As long as when it comes up, it doesn't hit the frame there. And it looks like it's just going to miss the frame. Has a weird feel to it. I'm just not used to working on bicycles. There it goes. See, it hit there. that hit there, but now this guy's turning independently, which I kind of figured it would. There we go. So there's like a jam nut on there, and then there's the reluctor sensor. So we've got it removed. I'm going to plug it back in because I do not have any of this stuff marked. Okay, we're on the left-hand side of the bike now, which is going to be the easiest side to start on. Got a little damage right there I'm going to have to look at. A couple tie wraps. And now we're down to the wiring for the motor. Just gotta be careful here. And I think we need this entire assembly, so we gotta be super careful here. And I was gonna use a socket on that, but I don't have a socket, so let me get, I don't have a wrench that big, so let me go get an open-end adjustable. I'll be right back. Okay. I normally don't like to use these wrenches, but sometimes you just have to. Okay, I've got this side here loosened, so that should allow us to completely remove this side. So let's go over to the other side and get the other side unhooked. All right, we've got that loose. Let me make sure it's cut. Yeah, that should come out of there, but we'll find out in a minute. They've got this hooked on here with a couple of things. One being a tie wrap, so we'll cut the tie wrap. There we go. And it's got this hose clamp on here, which is not correct, but let me get a screwdriver and we'll take that off. All right, so we've got that off. There we go. So we've got that off. And then I think once we get the chain off, we should be able to, hold on here. There we go. I got the chain off. I think that back tire should come off now. So let's see what happens. Okay, that side's off. It looks good. It's hanging up on this side here. Chain's not got it. That feels tight for some reason. I don't think I have to take this side all the way off. It doesn't make sense. But let's see. It's got some weird hardware in here. Like, what is that for? But anyway, I guess that holds the derailleur on. Yeah. And then this comes off. And it should just, the tire should just come out of there. Hold on. Oh, the wheel should just come off there. Okay, the brakes aren't holding it. So, oh, there it goes. There we go. And I gotta get the chain off the end of that. And there we go. So there's the tire. And we have it all apart. Okay, here it is. Here's the entire electric bike system. You've got your battery pack. Then you've got your motor up here all this stuff is wired to your brushless DC motor controller. Here's the reluctor and sensor, so when you start pedaling, it'll say send me power. And then you've got your brakes with their micro switches here and here, so when you want to stop, it says stop sending me power. This is your monitor, and this is your monitor controller that turns this guy on. We're not plugged into the battery, so I can't turn it on. Then you've got a couple of grips. This was the right hand, and this is the left hand grip, and then extra hardware here. So now we've got all this stuff laid out. We're going to bring the other bike in, and we're going to start seeing how it all fits together. Now, kind of the tricky part is going to be this rear tire and gears. Now, the new bike is a 7-speed, and this has 7 rear gears on the back, but there is a difference, and that has to do with the shaft assembly here on this. So let me figure that out, and I'll bring you back, and I'll let you know what I figured out for getting this guy mounted on that bike over there. Well, good afternoon, everybody. Got a dog barking next door, a plane flying overhead, and a motorcycle going down the road. Welcome to suburbia. Anyway, this video is getting too long. I've decided to break it into 2 parts. The first part is the disassembly, taking all the parts off our existing e-bike, and the next video will be putting all the parts back on to my wife's new bike. Okay, so if you made it this far, thank you for watching. The process isn't perfect because I really have to figure all this stuff out. I am not a bike dude, but we are making progress. Again, thanks for watching.